Phil, I feel like the conversation around Xabi Alonso's future is one that has been burning for a couple of months now. We seem to be hitting boiling point as we hit the pause point of the season. But just tell me in terms of your reflection watching that game today.
Listen, I'm going to give you the headline from Marca, which is the biggest selling sports paper in Spain. And I just went on their website and had a look. How did they react to this game? And I really like this. They said, Real Madrid won again and Xabi Alonso lost again. Because that is the feeling after watching this game. Real Madrid did win and they got 3 points and they kept a clean sheet and Mbappé got that record. But the play from Real Madrid was like staggeringly poor through large parts of that game. Genuinely, I think they're getting worse. They lost their last home game against Celta Vigo 2-0. This performance was genuinely as bad as that. It's just that Celta Vigo have much better attacking players than Sevilla, and they were able to score chances. Courtois was the man of the match for Real Madrid today. He makes 5 saves in this game, a couple of them absolutely brilliant to keep out a Sevilla side. Sevilla played with 10 men for 25 minutes and still they were pressing, still Real Madrid were hanging on. So listen, you showed the table there before. Real Madrid are 1 point behind Barcelona. Barcelona go to Villarreal tomorrow. They could lose to Villarreal, they're third. And then at the end of the year, Real Madrid would just be a point behind Barcelona. Not a catastrophic position. What is catastrophic is how they're playing. The system, the organisation, the setup, the ideas, they've got none of that. Genuinely at times, defensively tonight, they were bewilderingly bad. The midfield kind of didn't exist. And then when they get into the final third, they've got some brilliant players and they look dangerous and Rodrigo's picking up form and looking better and Mbappé will always score goals. But guys, I mean, genuinely, there has been no reaction from this Real Madrid side. They have won their last 3 games, and that has kept Xabi Alonso in a job, but it's really bad and it's not getting better.
Phil, one player, and you just named him, in Rodrigo, and how big of a moment this was for him to get the performance he had. I'm curious, what's the reception of him in recent weeks? Because he's taken his game to another level, to the level that we're used to seeing in previous seasons.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting back to the level that we're expecting to see him, because remember, Rodrigo went almost an entire calendar year without scoring in La Liga. I mean, he scored last week against Alaves. Before that, his last goal was on the 19th of January in La Liga. It's been a terrible, terrible season for Rodrigo, who's had, you know, issues to deal with in terms of confidence, in terms of anxiety and about his performances. He's had a rough time, and he seems to be coming out the other side. We saw him score against Manchester City, score against Alaves. Tonight, provide a really, really good assist for the first goal and win the penalty for the second goal. So I would say that is a small positive for Real Madrid. But there's not too many others. I mean, in terms of individual performers and people who are playing well and delivering what the team needs, I mean, Courtois, who seems to do it every game, Mbappé, who didn't have his best game tonight, but he scored, and that's all you can ask of him. Rodrigo. I mean, there are very, very few people who are delivering at the moment for Real Madrid. So I don't want to be too negative here, guys, because if you look at the table, they're a point behind Barcelona. But trust me, I live in Madrid. I've lived here for a long time. I know how things work. This is not good enough. At the Bernabéu tonight, Xabi Alonso came on the screen at the end and he was whistled. People are not happy. It is not good enough to beat Sevilla 2-0 in this fashion, the way that they did. So there are going to be repercussions if Real Madrid keep playing like this. There will be repercussions, and that means a change of manager. Because like I said, it doesn't matter if you keep winning. If the sensations around the team are this bad, that the action is going to have to be taken. And remember, after the Celta Vigo game, there were a number of directors of Real Madrid in the hierarchy who thought Xabi Alonso needs to go. That he's lost the team. Look at this performance. We can't tolerate this performance. Well, they kept him, but the performances aren't improving. So he is hanging by a thread at the moment.
Phil, we can focus on the potential changes in terms of in the head coach position, but you just alluded to it. You want to remain positive. So let's talk about some of the bright sparks. And Kylian Mbappe's calendar year has been nothing short of sensational. I mean, he's created history in his own right now. What do you make in terms of his individual performances and also him now, of course, equaling Cristiano Ronaldo's record?
It's clearly a record that he wanted to get. We saw him play midweek in the Copa del Rey against Talavera de la Reina from the third tier. Nobody expected him to be in the matchday squad, and he played 90 minutes. Oh, and he scored 2 goals and was absolutely vital to them as well. He is completely vital to this Real Madrid team, not least because Vinicius has gone 14 games without scoring. So obviously you need Mbappé to be chipping in with goals, but he looks, his head is right mentally. Remember, a year ago he said he hit rock bottom after missing a penalty in Bilbao. Mentally he's right, physically he's right. He's bubbling with confidence, and you can see when he gets into that Mbappé zone on the edge of the penalty area, he's going to score. Right? You've got the utmost belief in him, and this is just an extraordinary record. And it's not just the 59 goals he's scored, it's who he's drawn level with as well. And there's Cristiano Ronaldo, and there's a huge emotional significance for that, because he was signed here to try and emulate what Cristiano Ronaldo has done. And nobody has come close to emulating what Cristiano Ronaldo has done for Real Madrid. Maybe no one ever will, but Kylian Mbappé has probably got the best chance of doing that. And this is an individual record. It doesn't mean anything. Real Madrid haven't won anything this year, but Kylian Mbappé has scored a lot of goals. And if he keeps scoring this amount of goals, Real Madrid will have a chance, because they have these individual players that are so good at both ends of the pitch. But the team and the structure and the idea needs to improve. Otherwise, it's just going to be individual things for Mbappé.
Phil, incredible, insightful, value as always. Appreciate you as always, man.
Thanks, guys. Anytime.
He's said some strong statements there, and rightfully so, because of course he's the ear on the ground. He's a part of that community. He understands in terms of. But when I'm hearing the whistles for Xabi Alonso at the full time, that's never a good sign when you've lost the fans overall. How close are we to in terms of a direction change or Xabi Alonso's future overall?
We might be finding out very soon. We think of things like the Supercopa. We think of some of the matches that they have coming up. Look, against the Sevilla side, you can get away with some of the things that they let them get away with. I worry for Xabi Alonso. I really worry for Real Madrid this season, because the Kylian Mbappé goal, the record, it's going to paper over the cracks of this. Jude Bellingham getting his goal, it's going to paper over the cracks of this, because this was a very poor performance. They looked disjointed, unorganized, unenthused about defending, and just looking at the middle of the park, you could have ran a Mac 10 truck, Jaydee. You and I could have gone out there and played football today.
Little pop around the corner.
It was that poor. And the imbalance in this side is what worries me the most. Yes, the individual brilliance is one thing, but Sevilla should have put this game in bigger question. You look at the momentum chart, and I'm looking there, Jaydee. You're going to say that Real Madrid, in the first 15 minutes, Sevilla looked to me that the team that they didn't fear Real Madrid, and it leads me to this. I think more and more teams are starting to smell blood in the water. More and more teams are starting to key in and hone in on the dysfunction that's happening right now. More and more teams can smell, and you and I have been there. I've been there when I played part of a team that you're not sure where you stand with the manager. You're not sure how much you want to push that extra mile for this manager. And the players getting the result today, it's only delaying the inevitable, in my opinion. Xabi Alonso getting wins, delays the inevitable. All it takes is for one poor performance against Atleti, where the next match that comes up, must win. Every match is a must win moving forward. But for all the bad I'm talking about, there are some goods.
Yeah.
The only good in this is twofold. Thibaut Courtois and Rodrigo, their performances, they save the day.
I'm confused though, Lahoud, overall, because I look at this team and it feels like it has more balance. You see Bellingham and Gula, of course, that adds a little bit more stability in the midfield. Vinny and Rodrigo, we spoke about the upturn in terms of his form, and Mbappé being the heartbeat of it all. Rudiger returning to this. On paper, this team should feel like as one of the most dominant across Europe. Why is it not meshing together right now?
Yeah,
What's happening?
I think one player that's really struggled as of late is Arda Güler. He doesn't look the same player that we saw earlier this season, and the imbalance of where do you put him and Jude Bellingham? Jude Bellingham has to play. He's Jude Bellingham. He's one of their best players, right? Arda Güler doesn't have the same qualities that you need to replace someone like a Toni Kroos. He doesn't have the same qualities from a defensive standpoint to really hold it down. And he got exposed today. But I worry more in the back. Their back line right now is shocking. There are points today where Raul Asensio is not a good footballer for Real Madrid. He's dropped his levels. That's not a personal shot, but he dropped his levels. Alexis Sanchez and Isaac Romero were running circles around him, and Antonio Rudiger has not looked the same footballer and same person and same player that we've come accustomed to, where we were calling him in previous seasons one of the best defenders in the world. The levels have dropped. Without Eder Militao, back in that back line, they are going to continue to struggle and have poor performances.
So is it a personnel thing? Is it an individual perspective? Is it a coaching? Is it a philosophy? What could you pinpoint as to why? Because Xabi Alonso doesn't become a bad manager overnight. So how have we got to this stage right here?
Well, it's what happens when you go back to El Clasico and the moment with Vinny. You start tinkering with the locker room. You start losing players like that. The domino effect starts happening. I see an effort issue. I see a mentality issue with Real Madrid. And the buy-in, the collective buy-in that was there at the start of the season. I remember watching him in the summer of the Club World Cup. There was so much emphasis on collective pressing, doing things as a team, and there was buy-in at that moment. At the start of the season, you were seeing the team press and hunt the ball down. So much focus on the defensive side because the goals were going to come. Now, I see a team hitting, hoping, and praying on individual moments to bail them out. Half the team wants to play for the manager. The other half, I'm not so sure.
Talk about individual moments. Nobody's individual moment is going to be better than Kylian Mbappé. Just summarised in terms of his greatness this year and, of course, equaling the record of Cristiano Ronaldo now.
It's his birthday as well. What a birthday gift that is,
bad,
right?
bad,
And after the match, he gave Cristiano Ronaldo a lot of credit. He thanked him and he said, look, I learned a lot from him. And he says, I have a lot to be thankful for. He's always been good to me. And so he said that this goal and this record tying him was dedicated to him. Kylian Mbappé will go down as one of the greatest goal scorers in footballing history by the time he's done at Real Madrid. And the fact that he equaled this record, he could become the second coming of Cristiano Ronaldo to Real Madrid. He's been that important. He's been that clinical. And it says a lot when your team is playing poorly. You can rely on one person. And he's becoming one of the top talismans in world football. And right now, there's that three-headed horse and that three-headed race for the best striker in the world. Kylian Mbappé, Harry Kane, and of course, Erling Haaland. I still back Kylian Mbappé to go and push for a Ballon d'Or this season because he'll take his talents from Real Madrid to the World Cup. That'll be the defining thing. But what he's doing is out of this world.